Hey guys. So, where do I start? Mason's in the shower. Brandon's been off for a few days and we had some serious conversations. Nothing that we were planning on talking about. Nothing that before his day off we thought was a problem, honestly, except for, we have been having some marriage problems. My nose is so itchy. So, who hasn't had marriage problems over this COVID lockdown stuff? You know, we've all been trapped together way too long, and we are fine now. In fact, we are better today than we were 4 days ago. And 4 days ago, I'm gonna tell you the truth, and I'll tell him I'm telling you the truth, is that he was saying, you know, I haven't been happy in a long time. He says, I have no right to be selfish right now because you almost died and you're still getting better. But he said, I'm not happy. And honestly, I hadn't been happy either. I'm getting better, and I'm glad I survived this last bout of illness and that I'm on the up road. Like, I see so much hope for our future now. But COVID was hard. My decision to go back to school was hard, and it was only a decision to look for our future together as a couple, because I will lose the grant money I get if we ever move away from Kentucky or Hunter turns 18. I will lose my income that I have right now. And that's okay. So I was planning for the future. But now I realize that there are so many more options for us. And Brandon and I have really been talking about it. We don't want to feel trapped here just because we're in a beautiful home, in a beautiful place, because we are. And it was nice being trapped here. But we need some new adventure. And we're lucky enough to both be in medicine. And if we could rent our house out, because we don't want to get rid of this house. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. There's beautiful fields across it, all of those things. But we do want to take a year or two and go do traveling CT Tech with Brandon and just save as much money as possible and go on these really awesome little 13-week adventures. I mean, they give you a housing fund. They cover your insurance while you're working for them. That's my biggest problem, is just having the insurance to cover our medications and our health. But we want to do what's right for our family, and we want to follow Heavenly Father because we feel like that's where we have the most fun and we learn the most and we're able to minister the most. And we are so ready for a new adventure. That's kind of what COVID did to us. Like, we're in a great place in our marriage now. And the true words were, Brandon says, I don't want to be in a marriage where my wife doesn't want. And I said, well, there's a million reasons why that's happening, including health and hormonal and all kinds of stuff. And he's like, I know. And I said, well, I don't want to be in a marriage where my husband expects the worst of me every time. Where I'm in a marriage where my husband thinks I'm a bad person. Just like, instead of giving me the benefit of the doubt, thinks she's doing that on purpose. She's doing that to me. I mean, why would you assume that? Why wouldn't you assume you're married to the coolest person in the world because, you know, you chose that person? And even though it's been a little bit hard, and this is both of us, this is a conversation that we both had, and I'll interview him in a day or two. But you got to be honest with each other. COVID sucked, and we made it to the other side of this part of it, whatever that means. We want to be a strong family unit out ministering to the world and doing our thing and having all kinds of adventures together, and me just documenting it. I wish we could get paid doing that, but whatever. I'll obviously take you. That's our goal within the next 6 months. So every time I've gotten really close to death, or I've been given like this life-altering thing, diagnosis or whatever, I have been pretty sick for a really long time, and I've kind of had to face my own mortality on more than one occasion. In the beginning, I was so sick for 2 years, I laid in bed and thought of what I would do if I could get out of bed and have the energy to do anything and not die. And so I made this bucket list in those 2 years, because all I could really do was lay there and sleep, because that was the nature of my illness right then. And I was just trying to survive. But I created this bucket list, and then when I got better in my 20s, like right when I hit 20, I just did it all. I mean, I did these adventures. I had no regrets. I have no regrets. And it was like, I wasn't like some druggie or alcoholic or any of those things. It was just like I went dog sliding in Alaska with some of the coolest people I've ever met. I have been snorkeling in the Florida Keys. I worked at a ski resort for a season just because I wanted to learn how to snowboard, and my brother wanted to as well, so we both went. I worked as a wrangler the year I married my husband, who is a city boy, this is why my husband is so awesome. Like, I've never fallen out of love with my husband. He is so cool because he has trusted me from the very beginning. He is a city slicker husband who had never been drunk a day in his life, who've never tried anything other than like maybe marijuana, and back in his high school days, who was a punk rock guitar player, Mormon kid, and he grew up in the city. He was an army brat. He was born in Hawaii, moved to Germany with his family, went on a mission to Thailand. I mean, that's who I married. He married a backwoods Kentucky girl who almost died, who just happened to have a bucket list and kept going, coming up with new adventures. Then I got these kids. So then I had to learn we had to learn how to be a family. We had to learn how to grow and get through the hardest possible things. And that's been this last year. Not that that's all that's going to happen. It's going to be even harder now. Because, of course, why wouldn't we be tested? But, man, it's going to be fun along the way.